Industry plants are a kind of weird subject to talk about. They're kind of hard to spot, and if you do spot them, then it's kind of hard to accuse them of being an industry plant. For instance, Lil Nas X. I can give you plenty of reasons why he's an industry plant, but we'll get back to that later. What makes you angry? What really just adds to that hit of rage in your body that you just can't seem to quell? What makes you infuriated to the point where you just have to speak up about something? The number one thing that angers me the most is the easy way out. Throughout my entire life, I have always tried to do things the proper way with every step I take. And that includes anything from making videos to making songs or writing scripts. And I have no respect at all for industry plants. But what are industry plants? Industry plants are people in the music scene who have basically essentially bought their way in stardom. Now, 9 times out of 10, this usually only ends up with a one-hit wonder or maybe 2 or 3 songs that get any kind of notoriety. Some immediate examples that pop up in my head are Jumex,
like being a loner,
and that one girl who looks just like Billie Eilish, who was like,
"My life fucking sucks,"
and then dropped a horrible song. It was horrendous. But industry plants are really just probably the worst example of people I can think of. They take all of the hard work that comes with having an artistic career and they skip past that with money that's probably not even theirs. And to me, that's disgusting. But what are some good examples of industry plants? Jumex is an industry plant that never really popped off. He had 4 songs paired with 4 music videos. Not that any of his music was good. The thing is though, Jumex was trash. His songs were trash, so people didn't really stick around to see what else he had. How could someone who had basically no traction just get an 11 million view music video twice? And I think that was mainly in part due to viewers being in the right place at the right time. Many people would attribute this kind of fame to bots, but I feel like this is just an example of the algorithm favoring a new artist and him probably pushing the algorithm to play the video because he's giving them money. He has a lot of money. He's an industry plant. He's probably not the one with money. Maybe his advisor or manager has the money, but still, you gotta hate stuff like that. I mean, no one really wants an industry plant. No one likes industry plants. It's not good. What's even worse though, what goes down into your brain and seeps into your very core, that's when industry plants actually succeed. Now, back to Lil Nas X. You guys may be furious and infuriated that I would mention Lil Nas X. He's not an industry plant. How could he be an industry plant? He worked for his stuff. And while yes, he did have a pretty sizable music career before Old Town Road, the difference in plays between Old Town Road and his old stuff is incredibly considerable. Almost to the point where it's comical just how little streams his old stuff had compared to Old Town Road. But he was smart about it. He took all the business opportunities he could. He dropped Panini after that, which was another hit. People couldn't get enough of Lil Nas X. From what I can remember, he gave birth to an album, pissed off a lot of Christians, and I don't really know about him anymore. So I guess being an industry plant doesn't really work out much. But those are examples of industry plants that have happened within the past 4 or 5 years. Those are singular cases. Industry plant stuff could happen in different types of scales at different levels with different people. They don't have to necessarily be the next big thing to be an industry plant. All they have to do is have money to promote their music. I think that's cheap. I think that's the easy way out. Of course, promoting your music is a different thing, but when you're paying people money just to listen to your music with the sole intention of trying to get cash back, that's messed up. You're taking all the art out of art. You're making it about money. I have no respect for those kinds of people. If you're in the hyperpop scene, or if you've been recently incorporated into the hyperpop scene, you may know of an artist called Cyrus Nyx. I found out about him because he was recommended with Quadeca. I listen to a lot of Quadeca, if you didn't know that. But Cyrus Nyx was in the recommended artists. So I popped on a few tracks, and they were actually not that bad. But I noticed a lot of things. His old tracks, probably less than 1,000 plays per track, and his most recent 3 tracks were in the tens of thousands. Keep in mind, this guy doesn't even have 10,000 monthly listeners, but he's able to pull numbers like like that. So that already ticked off some red flags in my brain. Another thing about Cyrus Nyx, I have this screenshot on my phone that says promoted. I don't know if that's like a dead giveaway, but promoted music on Spotify just kind of like rubs me the wrong way. Not a big fan of that. So that ticked off more boxes in my brain. With the way the internet works nowadays and the amount of popular artists streaming music over and over again on repeat just to get more plays, like Travis Scott or Ed Sheeran inflating their plays by just getting these farms of phones to play music, you can never really be too sure on just how many plays a song really has anymore. So I'm gonna give Cyrus Nyx the benefit of the doubt because I do like his music. I might make a video on him soon. There's another industry plant, one that I'm gonna have to make a whole entire video on. You know, she wears the bows, she drives the car with her face on it. She actually has 2 cars with her face plastered on it. Probably one of the most self-entitled. Yeah, so I'm not gonna dedicate Jojo Siwa to an entire video because I really just don't care enough to spend what, 2 days talking about Jojo Siwa. The topic's already done. She's already had her like 10 hours of popularity. There's nothing really more I could say that hasn't already been said. Now here's the thing. Looking at Jojo Siwa from a industry plant perspective, she checks almost all the boxes. You got very wealthy family going into it. She had a previous career, not doing music, but with YouTube and Dance Moms. And she sold 80 million bows. So you tell me how she promoted her new song, Karma. I'm not really a firm believer in karma. I do believe what goes around comes around, but if you had to tell me anything about Jojo Siwa, I really think that she doesn't believe in karma. Because she's the most obnoxious person making
gay pop. And they were like, it's like K-pop, right? But it's gay pop.
I don't know that many gay pop artists, but she claimed to invent it, which I think is hilarious. But what I'm getting at is, at the end of the day, most artists that have paid their way to like stardom are most definitely industry plants. And that's not like a specific term to use for like 2 to 3 guys. Like that could be a broad term. Even Jojo Siwa can fall under the category of an industry plant. And if any of you, what do they call them? Jojo heads or whatever, are watching this video, well, you should probably get off because you're probably too young to be watching this kind of content. But Jojo Siwa is probably one of the most egregious examples of an industry plant because she's actually relatively successful and also very narcissistic with the cars with her face plastered on them. At least get like hairline extension surgery if you're gonna put your whole entire face plastered onto a car. It's ridiculous. But besides that, this is my video about industry plants. I'm just another music critic and I'm gonna make a video about George Clanton soon. Good guy that George Clanton is.